NBC. Stick around later for Jimmy Fallon as Jason Momoa drops by tonight.
It's a very historical time.
A Texas tribute for an American statesman.
We will always remember this great statesman and beloved American patriot. He really was very special.
He left a simple yet profound legacy to his children, to his grandchildren, and to this country.
Honoring the life and legacy of President George H.W. Bush.
We rejoice, Mr. President, that you are safely tucked in now and through the ages with God's loving arms around you. Because our glory, George, was to have had you as our president and as such a friend.
You're watching NBC 5 News at 10.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Meredith Land, live from College Station. It has been a very special, very emotional day here, beginning with family and friends of President George H.W. Bush in Houston, ending here, the president's final resting place. More of the final tributes in just a moment, but first, a weather alert. Right now, storms are moving through North Texas. Let's get straight to NBC 5 Chief Meteorologist Rick Mitchell with the latest. Hi, Rick.
Hey, Rick. Meredith, yeah, it does look like the rain has settled on in. If it's not a steady rain, it's kind of drizzly and dreary. No thunderstorms, and I don't anticipate any, but keep the rain gear handy. It is going to be wet. In fact, flood watches are in effect for areas to the southeast of Dallas-Fort Worth. Winter storm watches off to the northwest. This is kind of a snapshot of how it will look for the next few days. Mainly rain in North Texas, but enough snow and ice to cause inclement travel weather farther to the north. Now, you'll notice parts of North Texas could end up seeing a little bit of snow. I'll explain that and tell you when that'll happen coming up in just a bit. Meredith, back to you.
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks so much. Well, after 4 days of public tributes and remembrances and almost 70 years of sharing him with the nation, the Bush family tonight is getting a chance to remember and grieve privately as they say one last goodbye. Tonight, George Herbert Walker Bush reaching his final resting place. The president and patriot laid to rest, surrounded by family. The burial following a heartfelt funeral at the Houston church where he worshiped for more than half a century. James Baker, his close personal friend and Secretary of State, knew him like few others and recalled the blunt way 41 let him know that a conversation was over.
You said, Baker, if you're so smart, why am I president and you're not?
But most of all, he remembered his partner of more than 60 years as a truly incredible human being.
As history will faithfully record, he became one of our nation's finest presidents, and beyond any doubt, our nation's very best one-term president. For millions and millions across the globe, the world became a better place because George Bush occupied the White House for 4 years.
In our times together, our big, wonderful, and competitive family saw the personal goodness that led to his recognized historical greatness.
How sweet
A solemn son, then watching his father leave his adopted hometown for the last time. The casket weaving through the streets of Houston, arriving in a special train painted to resemble Air Force One. A nod to the president's love of locomotives and an opportunity to say goodbye. Texans lining up along the 80-mile route to his presidential library, where he's being buried alongside his beloved wife Barbara and daughter Robin, who died in 1953 from leukemia. And our Meredith Yeomans is also in College Station with me tonight. She caught up with people who are here just to pay their respects.
It's rough. It just started pouring down.
Rain didn't dampen spirits.
It kind of shows the commitment that we have
For a homecoming like none other.
Nothing can stop us from showing up and showing our respects for the family.
In front of Kyle Field, thousands lined train tracks to witness history.
I just felt like this was something that we couldn't miss.
Seniors Brooke Thomas and Hannah Reynolds are from McKinney and Dallas.
I think it's really special that he chose College Station as his final resting place, because this is a place that's really special to all the students here and everyone that lives around here.
The president's 2.5-hour journey to his final resting place began in the town of Spring. This was the view aboard the train as crowds gathered along the tracks. It slowed in small towns like Navasota so people like Betty Smith from Farmers Branch could get a good look at the casket visible from both sides.
Something that I've never seen before, and I'll probably never live to see another one.
The overwhelming turnout wasn't lost on President George W. Bush, who posted this photo to Instagram. Back in College Station, crowds cheered as locomotive 4141 finally appeared.
Oh, look! We love you, Bush family.
With the casket followed by George W. Bush waving to the crowd.
Woo!
No one here will forget where they were when it happened.
It was amazing. And George waving at everybody. They love everyone.
Gratitude that doesn't end with death.
It's a beautiful day.
Meredith Yeomans, NBC5.
So many people out here today saying this is exactly what our nation needed right now. And then there was this. This was an incredible sight in the sky. Late today, 21 jets flying in the missing man formation over President Bush's library, 41's final resting place, the largest missing man formation ever. And tonight I spoke with members of the Bush family. They all are home now. They said they're tired, but so grateful. Back to you.
That is incredible. It was a beautiful day, a beautiful week, a beautiful goodbye to 41. Meredith, thank you.
If you missed any of this week's tributes to President George H.W. Bush, you can watch them again on our website right now, NBCDFW.com. Developing tonight, a city councilman in McKinney is making headlines yet again.
Yeah, Lashadian Shemwell was arrested for continuous family violence, a third-degree felony. He was arraigned this morning and bonded out. Well, now a petition is circulating to recall the councilman while he's defending himself online. Alice Barr is in McKinney with more on the new allegations and Shemwell's controversial past.
This is the same city councilman who publicly accused a McKinney police officer of racial profiling and then backtracked on that. Now, with news of his arrest, some residents are saying he's bringing too much negativity to City Hall. Court documents lay out an alleged pattern of abuse, accusing McKinney City Councilman Lashadian Shemwell of assaulting a woman with whom he had a dating relationship 3 times over the past year. The woman says that last week, Shemwell grabbed her car keys out of her hands so roughly that he broke several nails and injured her finger, and that on 2 separate occasions back in June and in February, he hit her in the mouth during arguments, also throwing her into a wall during the February incident, hurting her eye.
And I will never stop speaking truth to power.
Shemwell has not returned our calls for comment, but in a Facebook post yesterday, he said in part, quote, "There will be some things that are said about me in the next few days. I challenge you to consider the sources."
You better call Chief Conley. I'm not going to tell you again. Step out of the vehicle.
Councilman Shemwell sparked controversy back in May when he accused a McKinney police officer of racial profiling during a traffic stop. He later backpedaled when this body cam video went public and voted to censure himself at City Council.
I should have done better and handled it in my day of court, and for that I take that.
Now, residents have started a petition calling for Shemwell to lose his council seat, some saying he's brought too much negative attention to the city. On Facebook yesterday, Shemwell said he's not going anywhere, adding, quote, "If you want my seat, run for it and beat me." McKinney Mayor George Fuller released a statement saying in part, quote, "Mr. Shemwell is entitled to due process, and until such time, I will not comment on the facts or persons involved. However, violence against the family is intolerable, and anyone convicted of such a crime should be punished to the fullest extent of the law." Reporting in McKinney, Alice Barr, NBC5.
And we reached attorney Kim Cole tonight, who represents Shemwell in a separate civil rights matter. She said that she is not yet his attorney in the family violence case, but that she stands with him and believes he will be completely exonerated.
New at 10, a search is underway in Haltom City for a robber who police say shot a clerk tonight. Police say someone went into the Mr. Convenience store on Denton Highway armed with a gun and demanding money. The clerk got into a struggle with the gunman and was shot. The suspect then took off. Police are still searching for him tonight. The condition of the clerk is unknown. A roller coaster ride on Wall Street today. The Dow was down more than 780 points, but rebounded to close down just 79 points. The Nasdaq adding 29 points and the S&P losing just 4.
New at 10, there may soon be help in ending those annoying robocalls. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton today joined a group of 40 state attorneys general to review the technology that major telecom companies are pursuing to combat illegal robocalls. Paxton called those phone calls both a nuisance and an invasion of privacy. The coalition will eventually make recommendations to the FCC.
The shutdown showdown in Washington has been avoided, at least for now. Today, Congress passed a short-term spending bill. President Trump is expected to sign that into legislation, which provides funding for the Department of Homeland Security and several other federal agencies until December 21st. Without today's passage, the deadline would have been tomorrow.
Coming up, a crazy police chase through Gulf Springs. See how the suspect slipped past police when he appeared to be cornered.
Plus, a Southwest Airlines flight rolls off the runway in pouring down rain. See what brought this plane to a stop.
Then, how a church in Louisville is helping young student athletes dress for success.